Welcome back to part 2 of making a dress that used to be my wedding dress, but that failed, so now I'm trying again and making it just like a cute little spring dress. Today, I'm determined to get it done today, and I haven't even read the instructions, so I don't know how realistic that is. But I know that like the skirt has extra little floofy funness, and I don't actually know how long it'll take me to make, but I'm determined to get it done today. One like sort of major concern is that I don't know if I have enough fabric for what the pattern calls for. If you look at the pattern, there's some really cute gathers like around the sides of the dress that I think is absolutely adorable, and I really want it. But I don't think I have enough fabric. I think it calls for like 4 panels of the smaller ones, and I don't think I have enough for that. I might have enough for 4 in total, so 2 on either side. We'll find out. I also am going to be adding pockets because I will not be making another outfit without pockets unless like it really needs to not have pockets. Let's start by cutting out the fabric. I'm gonna see how many panels we can get out of it, hoping we could do the full effect. If not, it'll be slightly less gathered, but it should still be fine. Eventually, at some point, we'll put the skirt and the bodice together. But before I do that, I need to fix the bodice. There's a couple small things I need to fix that I'll talk you through when we get there. But anyways, we're gonna get a super cute dress today, and I'm so excited. Okay, so I was absolutely right about not having nearly enough to cut out the skirt, but I was wrong about how much the skirt called for. The skirt does not call for 4 of the little side panels, it only calls for 2 per side, and I only had enough for 1 per side. So we're gonna say it's fine. We will just have it be not as full. I had just barely kind of enough fabric to cut out some pockets. So I've got 2 cute little pockets right here. This one is like a full actual pocket, and then this one I ran out of fabric right on the edge, so it's just gonna be a little bit smaller and a little bit misshapen. 2 pockets that are almost the same size I will take. I'm super excited to get this done. We're gonna start off by literally just zigzagging around all of the skirt fabric because the bodice is lined, so there's 2 layers, so I don't really need to zigzag around or anything. It'll kind of keep itself closed, but the dress is just 1 layer. Let's start by zigzagging, and then we are going to move on to putting the pieces together, attaching the pockets, and I got a good freaking feeling. I like actually have motivation today. I'm so excited to have a cute dress. We're gonna keep going. The time is currently 12:30, and I am really hoping to finish this by like dinner time-ish. We'll find out. Okay guys, I'm gonna be so for real with you. I don't want to keep having to zigzag stitch. I don't know if it's a mixture of the machine, the thread, fabric choice, I don't know what it is, but it keeps getting eaten in my machine, and then or the thread will break, and I've been doing it for an hour, and I have successfully stitched my pockets and 1.5 panels, and that's it. And I'm done. That's as far as we're gonna get. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna actually get into the real sewing part now before I lose my freaking mind. So before we get any further into the project, let's talk pockets. If you have never sewn pockets before, or if you're kind of confused how they work, they are super, super simple once you know how to do it. Let's talk about it. So first up, these are my 2 pockets right here, and this is going to be the back panel. This is a side seam, and this is a side seam. So before we go get crazy with gathers or stitching them together, we're gonna stitch the pockets to the side seams. So the inside of the pocket, you want to be the outer fabric, because that'll just like look prettier if the pocket comes out or anything. For this particular pocket pattern, there's this little divot right here in this corner. That is the bottom of the pocket. Take the one that is the right side, put right sides together, and line up that edge. So then you're gonna just do a little stitch right there, and then do the same thing on the other side, and then on the other panel of fabric, do the exact same thing. It's okay if like this pocket and this pocket are slightly off, but you really, really wanna make sure that these 2 pocket pieces are gonna match up together. Now that you've stitched those 4 pocket seams, now you just go ahead and iron them down, make them look real nice. Okay, now that everything's been ironed, we're gonna stitch the front piece and the back piece together, and then we're gonna cut into the back. Now that everything's been ironed, we're gonna sew the front piece to the back piece, and we are gonna include the pockets in that stitch. Let me show you. Okay, so we have one of our pockets right here. You're gonna lay the pocket side piece together. So we have our pocket laid flat. This dress is a little weird in that it goes over here and then continues down because there's another piece that's added here. So the only actual like side piece that we're stitching together right now is this line right here. So we have a pocket right here, and we're gonna take the top piece, line them up, and like just make sure that the pocket's lined up, the seams are lined up, and it goes very nicely together. And then when you stitch, you're gonna start at the top here, and when you hit the pocket, you literally just stitch around the pocket, and then you finish off the seam. Because the pocket's already been stitched here, you don't need to worry about stitching in the middle at all. You just go all the way around. And now I did a quick press, and ladies and gentlemen, dare I say, we now have functioning pockets. Obviously, this skirt is still gonna be gathered in, so it's way too big, but on the side seam, there's a little bit of a little pocket, and it's super cute, very durable, and basically invisible from the outside. I 10 out of 10 recommend adding pockets to literally every project you make, and now you can do it yourself. So next up, we're gonna take the two side panel pieces, and we're just gonna do a little gathering stitch up on the top, and then we're gonna gather it to fit into the side panel. Let me show you. So this is where the top of the side panel is gonna go, and then we have all of this length to gather into this tiny little space. This is what that seam is looking like right now, which I think is so cute. I think it looks so good. But now we're just gonna take this ever lovely side seam and this ever lovely side seam and whoosh, put it together. We've now reached the part where we're gonna start attaching the bodice to the skirt. And I'm pretty freaking excited about that. Before we get too far with that though, I do want to do some top stitching on the bodice, just so that way it like 100% stay where I want it, as well as that'll give me an opportunity to fix a couple things. For example, we've got this corner right here, which looks okay on this side, but then on the other side, it's a little caught. So I kind of want to seam rip this and then just top stitch right there. And then we will be top stitching the straps. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for the bodice. And then we're gonna do a gathering stitch on the skirt and then combine the two of them. And I am so excited. Do you need some extra lovins to feel better? Yeah. You miss me today? What I've been doing? I know. Yeah. Okay, so let me grab the dress. Our waist is finally attached and she's looking so good. All that is left is to sew on the zipper and then the hem, and I honestly am gonna do that off camera because it's getting a little late and I wanna go take a break. So I guess this means that I will see you tomorrow for the reveal. I have a lot of thoughts about this dress, so I took some notes on my phone, and we're gonna kind of break it down. I love the color. I have never worn yellow before. I don't know, I just don't really wear white. I don't really wear yellow. But this is like, I feel like it looks so pretty. I don't know, maybe it's just springtime, but I feel like it's a really pretty color, and I think it looks good on me. I think I chose well for color choice. It has excellent swooshiness. I love the little straps and how they just go everywhere. And then the dress has good twirliness, so 10 out of 10 for that. I'm ultimately just like super freaking proud of myself for making the mock-ups and learning how to fit it to myself, and then figuring out what to do when like we ran out of fabric. I'm just really, really proud of myself and how I've grown in this project. I know that seems a little silly to say, but like I am. I'm really proud. I worked really hard on this, so... And it was so freaking cathartic to make a dress that I failed to make a couple years ago. Like, this was my dream wedding dress. I looked at this and I said, that is what I want. And then I couldn't make it happen. And I have now made it happen. And it just feels so good to be able to finally accomplish that. And to feel like I can do anything if I try hard enough. So I'm super happy. Lastly, the pockets? Oh, heck yeah. They turned out so good. And like, I can't even really tell, like just feeling wise, that they are that different of shapes because we just lost a little bit on one of the pockets. So easily fits my phone, could easily fit my keys, meaning the dress is functional. Now let's get on to the things that are a little bit less than perfect. This first one requires a demonstration. Hang on. Let me adjust you. Okay, I know my head's cut off, but I just wanted to show you. Super cute, gathered, ever so lovely, right? And then the back. It just... What is this? There's not nearly enough gathers in the back. I made the incorrect assumption that the side for the bodice would line up for the side for the skirt, like the side seam. And for some reason, that is incorrect. And I don't really understand why that would be incorrect, because it would make sense for the sides to match up. But they don't. And then a couple of thoughts on the pattern itself. As I've said, I absolutely love this dress, and I love the way it turned out. But I do not love the pattern. I'm so sorry, but I don't. Here's the issue with the pattern. Well, there's a couple of issues. I feel like the pattern itself was not as descriptive as it could be. And if you've done the steps before, like, you're fine. It says gather. You can like know what gathering is and you can move on with your life. But if you've never done it before and this is your first time trying gathers, I feel like it was not... I don't want to say beginner friendly because it wasn't marketed as beginner friendly, but I feel like marketing wise, it was geared towards people who are in their sewing journey, but then the actual pattern itself was not very sewing journey friendly, if that makes sense. Like, it's fine if this is not your first rodeo, but if it is your first rodeo for gathers and darts and getting all that figured out, you definitely are gonna struggle, like I did a couple years ago when it fit so poorly that I just said, oh, guess I can't make it work. I have a philosophy with patterns that even if they're not beginner patterns, they should still go through the instructions as if they were talking to a beginner, just so that way, if anybody's trying to learn, they have the resources there to learn. And the people who don't need those, like, super detailed instructions can just move on and move past it. And I don't know, that's just my feelings. And then secondly, there was a video tutorial that was to go with the pattern. And the video tutorial was not very useful because they used a dark fabric in the video. It was like a really, really dark blue velvet, I think. And because of the lighting and the fabric choice, you literally couldn't see anything. So they were like trying to talk you through how to do gathers in it, and you had no visuals. It was like trying to listen to a podcast. If they'd chosen a lighter fabric, I think it would have been pretty much the perfect video to go alongside to explain things further. You just couldn't see anything, and so I just think it wasn't very helpful at all. And if you read the comments, pretty much every single comment is like, please, please remake this with a lighter fabric. And the creator hasn't yet, so hopefully they will, and it will make it a lot more friendly to people who are learning. Lastly, the fit of the pattern was horrible. I feel so mean for saying that because I know that like the creators probably spent months curating this pattern and making it as perfect as they could. But the thing is that this pattern is not that new. Like, it's a couple years old and it got revamped last year. And still, I cut the dress to my size and you guys saw how poorly it fit. And I mean, granted, just because I'm a certain size does not necessarily mean that my measurements are going to be perfect for a pattern, but it was so far off. Like, I was adding or taking away several inches in places. And I feel like personally, you shouldn't be doing that. There should be maybe some minor adjustments. Like maybe like a dart needs to be taken in a little bit more. But the fact that I had to add an extra 2 inches in the armpit to get the sleeves to line up, and then to take, I think I took out like literally 4 inches in the back. Like, it was a lot. I don't know, maybe the pattern was made for like a smaller size and then they just upscaled it. I don't know, but I feel a little put off that essentially I had to remake it. Because, like, at the end of the day, I had to make 3 mock-ups to get this guy as close as to where it is right now. And I feel like if I'm purchasing a pattern, I shouldn't have to do that. Essentially, the pattern gave me, like, a bodice block. And then, like, the skirt bit was useful because, you know, it was big enough for me to be able to gather it in. I don't know. I feel like the dress is absolutely beautiful, but I think I could have maybe drafted it without the pattern and done just as many mock-ups as I did with the pattern, which I don't love. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Overall, I'm super happy with it. I'm so happy that like I've completed a project that I've been working on for years and it's finally done and I can have this in my closet and enjoy it, and it makes me feel so good and happy. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye!